In my last video, I spoke about the main differences between the states of consciousness from the third and the fifth dimension. So today, I decided to talk more about what expansion of consciousness is and share with you some ways that can help you to expand yours. If you watched my videos about quantum physics, about how you create your reality, and about the spiritual levels of existence, I think you got a good idea that this reality we live in works as a simulation, a projection of our consciousness. And if you research about near-death experiences, you'll see that many people describe the feeling of dying as if they were waking up from a dream, where everything gets lighter and clearer. If you are dreaming but you don't know that you are, you think the dream is real, right? And some things that happen in this dream might scare you a lot. So using this analogy that life would be like a dream for your consciousness, if you don't know that you are dreaming, you are also unaware that you are creating that dream and that you have control over it. Now, when you are sleeping and somehow you realize that you are dreaming, you feel relieved, don't you? And probably your reaction would be something like, oh, it is just a dream, it is not real. Spiritually awakening or expanding your consciousness is exactly the same thing. You realize that this reality is just a dream and you have control over it because it is a projection of your consciousness. Once you wake up, your perspective about life changes and changes a lot. If you are making a conscious choice to expand your consciousness, the first thing you are going to need is to want and have a huge desire in the core of your being. Curiosity alone is not enough. You need more fuel to embark on this kind of journey. A curious person takes advantage of the opportunities that life brings. A person who wants and needs seeks these opportunities. That's the big difference between them. After that, you'll need knowledge, practice, and train your brain. And if you want a shortcut, at the end of this video, I'll talk a bit about psychedelics as well. Your consciousness works more or less like your mind. If you don't study and seek for new concepts, it does not expand. And it will take some time for you to develop the skills that you need to access the knowledge that already exists within you. Another thing, on this kind of journey, you'll need a lot of discernment, and only knowledge and practice can give you that. Most of the spiritual materials available, unfortunately, are still between the polarities between good and evil and about the basic concepts of how reincarnation and karma work. They're great to start with, but once you absorb them, I recommend you to go beyond that and search for concepts above these dualities that exist only in the third and fourth dimension. For that, Seth's material, channeled by Jenny Roberts, is great. It is also known as one of the pioneers of modern metaphysics. But any other material that you find that speaks your language will do it. You know the saying, when the student is ready, the master appears? It's more or less like that. There's no point to have a PhD teacher if you're still in kindergarten. Don't read famous spiritual books just for the sake of saying that you read them. You need to feel a very deep connection with the content. It is important to find materials that are compatible with the level of knowledge that you are ready to receive. In this sense, you will realize that a book or a video that had a huge impact on you will not have the same effect on someone else, and vice versa. Someone might recommend you something that doesn't make any sense to you or doesn't interest you at all. And keep in mind that a lot of this knowledge you are not learning, you are remembering, because what your soul has already learned in its evolutionary journey is stored in your unconscious, and that's why when you study certain things, you'll know they are true in the core of your being. After knowledge, you'll need practice. As your consciousness exists beyond the physical world, the intention is to learn how to perceive and deal with energies, and that will depend on each one's calling. Some people learn Reiki or Theta healing, others practice astral travel or work with crystals. But there is one thing that all of them practice in common: meditation. I'll repeat this 1,000 times in my videos. Meditation is not about emptying your mind. Meditation is about focusing on the present moment and learning to observe your internal processes, your thoughts, your energies, and your body. It is about disconnecting from this dream called reality and connecting to the part of your consciousness that is dreaming all of this. So there is no way you can expand your consciousness if you don't meditate. What I hear most people say is, oh, I can't meditate for even 5 minutes. If you never meditated before, of course you'll not be able to. It happens with anything that you want to learn in life. The beginning is always hard, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. Another thing, your conscious mind does not like what it doesn't know, so it is normal for it to create resistance in the first attempt, be it mental or even physical discomfort like itching and coughing. It will do anything to avoid going into a trance state, but after it gets used to it, it will ask to repeat the experience. To meditate is to take a break from your busy days, to visit your inner temple. Get inside yourself, listen to your human voices, talk to your soul, commune with God, and feel the unconditional love the universe has for you. Once you get used to this practice, you'll miss visiting this temple because of the peace it will bring into your life. Bolte Taylor is a neurologist that has an amazing TED Talk called My Stroke of Insight, where she describes the shifts in consciousness she had while having a stroke of the size of a golf ball on the left side of her brain. She says that when the left hemisphere was active, she was aware of being an individual being separated from the whole, but when the brain activity shifted to the right hemisphere, she lost the sense of individuality and felt connected to everything. Besides the matter of which hemisphere you are using, the altered states of consciousness are also connected to what frequencies your brain is operating. In my video about how to open your mind and connect to the universe, I explain it in more details. I'll leave the links below for all the videos I'm mentioning today so you can watch them later. When your brain operates in beta waves, which is the normal waking state, your consciousness is more focused on this reality here, and it is harder to perceive anything that is beyond this physical world. But when you train your brain to spend more times in alpha and theta waves, which are states of trance and relaxation, you become more aware of subtle energies. In other words, when the mind is awake, it is more limited. When it's relaxed, it is more expanded. If you find it difficult to relax your mind, I recommend you to use binaural beats, also known as brain sync. It is a sound technology that helps to put your brain on the frequency you want. You just need to choose alpha or theta waves and wear your headphones. You can easily find them on the internet or Spotify. You just need to search for binaural beats, alpha or theta waves. As you can see, expanding your consciousness is also a physical matter of opening up neurological pathways in your brain. You just need to learn how to work more with the right hemisphere and stay longer in the right frequency. Besides meditation, any activity that stimulates creativity and a state of relaxation will help to develop that. And when everything becomes more organic, extrasensorial perception will be part of your daily life. If your mind is very stubborn and full of barriers, which makes it difficult for you to tame it, and if you're not afraid and willing to work with psychedelics, I recommend you to give it a try. Psychedelics can greatly expand your consciousness, and it's practically impossible for your conscious mind to stop it from happening. In the holistic field, hallucinogenic plants are seen as medicine for the soul, and working with them is very serious and sacred. Ayahuasca, San Pedro, peyote, magic mushrooms, iboga, each one of them has a different consciousness that will help you according to the specialties they have. They all have an incredible ability to greatly expand your consciousness, but I'll warn you, it is not for everyone and it cannot be done recklessly. Taking these things as entertainment is very different from taking them to have a spiritual experience. If you feel a calling to do such a session, do it properly, with the right intention, in a safe environment, and with someone you trust to guide you through the process. When used as medicine for the soul, these plants have the power to help you to get to know yourself better, to heal your mental, emotional, and energetic fields, and to expand your consciousness, which will give you a better perspective about your life. One of these sessions might give you a profound and transformative mystical experience that might impact you in a positive way to the rest of your life. If you would like to try, but you still feel a lot of resistance, seek more knowledge on this subject because we tend to fear what we don't know. There is a lot of serious research about the use of psychedelics as a therapeutic tool, and the results are amazing. In case you want to know more, there is a series on Netflix called How to Change Your Mind that talks about it. To expand your consciousness might not be something easy to do, but for sure is worth it. After you manage, it is like having a GPS in life that will always point in the right direction. You'll have more wisdom, clarity, and you'll be less affected by the things that happen because, in the end of the day, you'll know that this reality is just a dream and your consciousness is the one dreaming it all. I really hope today's video has helped you somehow. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.